Facebook page. People said, I can't believe this. I'm like, well, you shouldn't because it's twice too big. And it's funny because my gut looked at it first and I said, they did that wrong. And they're like, well, maybe you're just being Mr. Negative Nelly. Let's go back and look at the number. Then I measured. I'm like, no, they did it wrong. It happens all the time. The news media wants to sell media, which means they have their agenda. Now, I'm not saying you can't sell an agenda and without doing good math. I'm saying they choose not to most of the time.
They want people to give up and say, oh, well, I can't make a difference anyway.
Right, exactly, yeah. They want to make you seem like you're part of the anti-solution. Trust me, you're not. You're part of the solution. But the idea is being able to get the data and actually present it correctly and then analyze it. Good. Anyway.
Have you heard that awesome campaign on the radio that's like, vote no on this because of some group who studied it and then at the end they say the group was made up of all these people who would obviously know.
That's something. Who's taking 243 again? Why aren't all your hands up right now? Why aren't isn't everybody's hand up right now? Because this is.
It next?
No, who's taking it at some point? 243. I didn't specify. Good. That's more of you. I want every hand up at the end of this class. I want every hand up in this room. Statistics is a lifelong process. Learning how to look at those graphs and be like, something's fishy. And then measuring your gut feeling with mathematics and statistics under it. This is the beginning, just the beginning. All right, anyway, back to this. Predict the number of uninsured Americans under age 65 in 1995. So I wanted to do it two different ways. I want us to use manual calculations because I want you to remember how to do that. But I also want you to use the technology that exists in your hands right now. And maybe it's something you haven't learned how to do before. So we're going to pick up some TI tricks that you may have either learned and forgotten or never learned in the first place. TI what?
TI fun facts.
TI fun facts, exactly. We're going to learn stat fun facts and TI fun facts. Yep. I don't want to hit you with much in this class TI-wise. I want to hit you with a few things over and over again. Because that, I think, is the better way to learn. An inch wide and a mile deep. How'd you do it? Either way, using technology or manually, how would you answer the question to predict the number of uninsured Americans in 1995? Please, jury, help me.
Really fast, I just pressed trace on the graph and followed it down the car.
Good.
It doesn't give me a direct.
Hey, that's okay. This pen's leaking. Okay, let's do that. Let me switch over my input. There's my TI, I think. Yep. Okay. So fire the TI up. Jury has learned something called the trace feature. This is a cool little feature. If you look at your trace button, if you press your trace button one time, and you actually, in your booklet, it tells you how to do that too. Somewhere in like part 2, it said hit trace. Right now, you are on the scatter plot. You can tell up here, this is TI lingo, P1 colon L1 comma L2. That's TI lingo for a scatter plot. Okay? If you then hit right arrow, right arrow, right arrow, right arrow, right arrow. Can you see what's going on? I can wave to you guys too. You're jumping along the scatter plot. See how the spider, I call this guy the spider? He was jumping from point to point. I can now jump back, left to the left. Jumping back. You guys see him okay? Is that light okay? I need some more light here.
No,
that's too bad. Okay, hang on, sorry. Stop it! Stop messing with the rule. Okay. Now, you can also, I call this scooching. Moving left to right, I call scooching on the graph. It's a word I made up like 15 years ago and students seem to remember it. Apparently it also has a PG definition on UrbanDictionary.com, so I don't mean that one, I mean this one. Now, jumping on a graph is moving up and down. So what I want you to do is jump off the scatter plot onto the line. So either up or down, doesn't matter to me. Now you're on the line. And you can tell because it says y1 equals 1.05x plus 33.1. It's telling you where you are. Now you can scooch left to right and slide along the line. And all we got to do now, jury, is slide till we're where?
On 5.
We got to get to x equals 5, don't we? Because I'm asking about 1995. So now I'm on 6. So I'm going to scooch. Subi, what are you going to say? Go ahead, my friend. You were going to say anything. Okay. So I'm scooching. Okay, it's somewhere between there, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's pretty close. 4.97 is pretty close, yeah?
Yeah.
That's at about 38.3, and 5.08 is about 38.4. So that's totally fine as far as being within it's a tenth of a million though. That's 100,000 people, right? Suppose I needed more precision. You can tell me, the quick and easy answer is, Sean, you can't have more precision. You can tell me that if you want.
You can't.
Good, you can't. But you can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. Yes?
I went to table and I scrolled down until I got to 5.
I love that. Give me 2 minutes. Maybe 90 seconds. I want to finish Jury's point first. If you're here, if you're already on the graph like this, you have another option. You can just type the number 5 right now, and then press enter, and it'll take you right to that point. So it tells you it's 38.35, which is conveniently between 38.3 and 38.4, which we were messing with. Hopefully that makes sense. It's a line. So if you go halfway over, it's going to go half up as high as it should go. Please.
Does that only work when you're on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You have to be on the line, otherwise it's just going to give you some random point on the graph. Yeah, this is all about once you've hit trace and you're on the line. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. So you can either scooch, like Jerry says, you can be on the line and type an X value in and it'll give you the Y value when you press enter. The other, oh Michael, go ahead.
What if we don't have a line?
Oh, you have to make sure you hit zoom 9.
Okay.
Do you see your scatter plot but not a line, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, go back and do section 3 again in your booklet.
Okay.
Follow it word for word, letter for letter, button by button. Now,
Come again.
Aaron, thank you. Aaron has another solution you may have learned and forgotten, or you may have never learned. Aaron, get me to your solution.
I went second and I hit graph.
So if you press the second function button and the graph button, second function, and then the graph, you get to something called the table. Second and then graph.
How do we make it small? Like if we need.
We can do that too. Let's just do this for a second.
Oh. Okay.
Now, yours might not look just like mine, and that's okay. Does anybody's look like this? When you go there. Is anybody's blank like that completely? No, I'm guessing yours looks something like, maybe something like this. Is this what, if you press second graph, what is your TI look kind of like that?
Yep.
So, your choice, you can now scroll down until you're at x equals 5, and it'll tell you y equals 38.35. Yes, Jesse?
Doing it in my head, I got a different answer. I got 38.26.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
We'll come back to it, okay? We'll come back to it. Hold that thought. Because I want to do it manually too. But you guys went straight to technology, which is great.
Okay.
We'll go back and rectify the manual bit as well. So, this is the table. I'm going to show you something that I like to set the table up differently than having it automatically set up like this. Everybody, if you would play along with me like this, press the second function button, and then the window button. Don't sweat this too much, Amy. This is more like an extra bit.
But I don't have the same buttons.
You don't. You've got it in there. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. I can get you the manual that has it in there though. So I don't care where it says table start, TBL start. I don't care what that says. Whatever number it says is fine. When it says delta table equals 1, doesn't matter to me. Leave it wherever it is. You see where it says int. What does that stand for? Independent. Set that on ESC. By arrowing over, get it blinking on ESC, and then press enter. Leave depend on auto. Leave that on auto. So chances are most of your tables weren't set up like this. I'm going to show you why I like this. Now, press second graph. They should look blank. They should look blank. The reason why it's an ask for the independent is you put in what you want for the independent, and then it kicks out your dependent. Yes, this is good. So you need 1995, right? So you type in 5 for 1995, you press enter, and it pops out 38.35. You don't have to go looking for the result. This is, I think, a nice feature of the table. It only gives you what you need and not everything else plus maybe what you need. That's why it deals with your great question of how do you change the increment. Don't even worry about it. Set it like this, you don't need to worry about the increment. That's a very, very good upgrade they gave from 82 to 83. Is that working for everybody? Please. Oh, it's working. We got success. Yes. Woo. Now, we've now seen how to do it, Jury, per the scooch, per the final on the line, the trace, per the table. what we've completely avoided is how to actually solve the equation manually if we needed to, yeah? So, and again, maybe you don't want to, and that's okay. But I want to go over how to in case you like that kind of like, I want to sit down and see how it works. This seems like black magic to me. It's okay, totally fine. Let's mute this, and let's see how to do that. Okay? So, the model you have, let's pause and start again.